Hello everyone, I'm Rishi here with Advective Weather, and I'm going to be taking you through the next couple days of severe weather here in the United States, so let's get right into it. So we have two enhanced risks in place now, both for the Deep South, one of which is centralized over Oklahoma and Texas, the other one is centralized over Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and portions of Alabama. So all hazards are possible today, whereas tomorrow the main threat is going to be for damaging winds. So all storms will be capable of producing some hurricane force winds, some gorilla hail, those being those 3-inch plus that Reed Timmer likes to talk about, as well as a few tornadoes being possible today, with some 5% risks being introduced. Tomorrow, however, the main threat will be damaging winds, with the additional risks of some very large hail and a couple tornadoes as well. However, those will be kind of on the back burner compared to the wind threat tomorrow. So let's look at the current setup. We currently have a couple of low pressure systems, or at least low pressure areas, centered over the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma Panhandle. Those are where today's storms are going to initiate as well as progress throughout the day. We also do have a stationary front that is draped over the Florida Peninsula and actually extends all the way back into the Texas Panhandle there. And there is going to be some threat down there as well. However, the slight risk there is not going to be what we're going to be focusing on in this video. So here is the national risk map here. You can see that kind of very funky shaped enhanced risk that starts in the southeastern corner of Colorado and kind of covers almost the entirety of the Oklahoma-Kansas border region. Then it extends almost from the end of the Oklahoma Panhandle into far northwestern Arkansas, and then also dives south into the heart of Texas. We'd also have a slight risk in place for Iowa, and the slight risk extends all the way from eastern Colorado right through to the Atlantic coast of the Florida Peninsula. So all those areas are under threat, but we're going to be focusing mainly on this enhanced risk. So here it is a little bit more zoomed in onto the state of Oklahoma. You can see pretty much every single major city in Oklahoma is underneath the enhanced risk. The only ones that aren't are Altus, Elk City, McAllister, and Hugo. Lawton's also pretty close to the border, but I'm still going to count that as being within the enhanced risk. So here's the tornado potential for today. It's rated as a 5% chance. That means there is a 5% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of any given point in that brown region. This includes the cities of Guyman, Woodward, Enid, Ponca City, Stillwater, and Tulsa, with Oklahoma City, the northern portions of the metro, being in that as well. However, again, pretty much every single city in Oklahoma is underneath this. It's underneath at least a 2% risk, with only Hugo really being outside of that area. Here is our wind outlook. So this is what was driving the enhanced risk. So we have a 30% chance for significant wind gusts, that those being in excess of hurricane force. And this actually does cover pretty much every single city in Oklahoma, once again, the exception at this time of being Altus. So bear that in mind as well. And then here's our hail risk. So significant hail is also a threat today, that being in excess of 2 inches in diameter. However, there is the distinct possibility for there to be very large hail, potentially in excess of 3 inches, just like there has been for the last few days. So this entire area has been hit kind of hard recently with hail and strong winds, but unfortunately, that's not going to be stopping anytime soon. So here is a model run from the HRRR. You can see those supercells developing in the Oklahoma Panhandle region as well as the northern portion of Texas. Then there's kind of a secondary round that then starts up later, early in the morning tomorrow in southeastern Oklahoma. That's going to be the start of tomorrow's threat, which we will get to later in this video. So, in fact, let's just get into it right now. Why don't we? So here is the enhanced risk for tomorrow that starts in southwestern Oklahoma and then extends all the way to the Gulf Coast of Alabama, Mississippi, and even the Florida Panhandle. So here is the tornado outlook for tomorrow. 2% risk, so it's the threat is there, but it's not as high as it could be. We could see this upgraded later today, as the next outlook is going to be coming out in about half an hour as of recording this video. But that being said, the threat level doesn't appear to be too high at this time for tornadoes. However, the wind outlook is 30% for severe wind gusts, those being in excess of 60 miles per hour. And this will include the cities of Little Rock, Shreveport, Jackson, and Mobile, as well as anywhere in between. Now, this is going to be the main driver for tomorrow, so bear that in mind. Now, there is also the chance for some significant hail. However, it's not a 30%, it's a 15%. So it's a lower probability, but the conditions are there for those 2-inch hail stones to be falling out of the sky over Shreveport and Jackson, for example. So make sure you're keeping your eye on the sky for that as well. So here is that HRRR run again. This kind of continues directly from the previous run that I showed. And you can see, so once it restarts, I'll kind of describe what's going on there. But you can see the mode isn't really too well defined. It's kind of messy throughout the entire thing. So there's our initial supercells in northwestern Texas that then push to the southeast across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida Panhandle. Then kind of another round starts up again, which kind of develops as a line and pushes through. So the tornado threat really isn't going to be there for the most part. There will be some tornado potential, but for the most part, we're going to be looking for some from strong winds in the area. And that's going to be what we're going to be focusing on if we do any coverage tomorrow. So here's what you can do. So tornadoes are obviously going to be the thing that people are going to be focusing on the most. So make sure that if especially now, you locate suitable shelter places for yourself and others. For example, your neighbors, your family members, or just in general your community. So the ideal place is a basement or a dedicated storm shelter. But if you can't make it to a basement, then interior room away from windows is your next best bet. Mobile homes are not a good idea in these kinds of scenarios. So make sure that today you get some sort of stopwatch. Most smartphones have a stopwatch feature in them. So go ahead, hit that start button, and practice going from wherever you are to a storm shelter, or at least your tornado safe place. You should be able to get there within about 10 minutes. And if you can't, then you need to consider whether or not you need to move closer to that shelter or find a different shelter closer to you. So, and also make sure that you are letting people know, okay, you can get warnings through your phone or a weather radio or a news station. There's many ways you can get the information for yourself and also for others. So I do want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure that if you like what we're doing, that you give us a like, you get subscribe, and we're actually going to be covering everything, or at least keeping tabs on everything in our Discord server, which is linked in the description down below. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.